Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Ross Pitt and Wizzy Puff's Fanfiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Ross Pitt, and I am guiding my co-host here, Wizzy Puff, through the magical world of pony fanfiction.
And I'm your babyest brother, Wizzy.
No, you can't say that. No, we're gonna get sued.
I hope so. That's for great publicity. No, I don't know what I'm saying.
And welcome to a very special episode. Today, we have a vinyl scratch appreciation episode. Vinyl Scratch has apparently, for some reason, slowly become Wizzy over here's favorite pony.
Yeah, as soon as I met her, I was like, this is a pony that I can get behind.
What a babe!
My first reaction was Vinyl Scratch? That's her name? And then I slowly learned the other ponies' names, and I realized Vinyl Scratch wasn't as bad as some ponies.
Uh-huh.
Needed dough.
Okay, that was in the actual show. But I wouldn't be shocked if it was.
That wasn't?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
Watch our other episodes if you haven't.
It's a pretty good, name for a pony compared to the other ones, It fits in is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Fun fact, there is a pony named Donut Joe. I might have mentioned this in the... No, wait. There was a Donut Joe reference in the other fic, wasn't there? Princess Celestia Gets Mugged. Watch that episode.
Great episode.
Anyways, we have 2 fanfictions today. I'm sure you're all excited.
I know I am.
The first one is Vinyl Scratch Bakes Cookies by Rushing Autumn Leaves.
Chapter 1. The very best cookies in all of Equestria.
It's also the only chapter.
Yeah. And I will arriving at exactly 8 p.m. on the Canterlot Manhattan Expressway. Hope to see you soon. Octavia. Vinyl smiled widely for a moment before realizing that Octavia would have nothing special to come home to. The white unicorn looked around and grinned at the brand-new package of chocolate chips sitting on the counter. She was going to eat them herself, but making a welcome home batch of cookies for the best mare friend in the whole world was so much better. And besides, after endless boring shows on the cooking channels, in addition to all the nights she had cooked for herself, meaning heated up takeout leftovers, she was basically a chef.
Basically.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing, microwave or filet mignon, basically.
It's obvious.
Besides, Phillies knew how to make cookies. How hard could it be?
Wop, wop, wop.
Vinyl looked over the recipe, a scowl on her face. The numbers didn't seem right at all. 21 quarter cups of flour? Why would you need that much flour? The pony questioned as she misread the instructions. Oh, 2 1/4. I get it now. Vinyl shook her head and grabbed the bag of flour, holding it in a hoof.
This seems about right.
I was going to say, don't know why she's talking, but okay.
I talked to myself.
But why is she talking? I didn't know that Vinyl Scratch could talk,
Well, she can't, technically speaking. Well, as far as we know. But, I mean, the fandom exists. And this might have been written at a time where we didn't know if she was or wasn't.
She emptied the flour sack into the bowl, coughing as the flour made a cloud and rose into the air like smoke. The bowl was nearly filled to the top with flour, and Vinyl read the next line of instructions.
Baking soda.
Vinyl grabbed a small box and glanced at it. It said baking powder, but Vinyl poured a bit into the flour. Was there really any difference? The pony who wrote the directions probably just got confused. I mean, I think you'd add baking powder as well, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, what do I know? Now, salt?
The unicorn questioned, knitting her eyebrows and shaking her head.
Now, who the buck would put salt in delicious cookies?
Who the buck?
Yeah.
I like that.
It's comedy gold. Until you've read it 3,000 times.
This is the first time I'm reading it. Shaking her head, Vinyl skipped straight to the next step.
3/4 cups of sugar?
3/4, but okay.
Oh, you know she would have read that as 3/4.
The DJ stole a glance at the bag of sugar before her and frowned.
Nah, That's not enough.
She declared, pushing the directions aside and levitating the bag over her telekinetic grip, dumping a somewhat large lump of sugar into the bowl.
Still not enough.
She tilted the bag a bit more, and any pony else could tell that the amount that had fallen out was way too much. However, Vinyl Scratch definitely was not any pony else.
Nah, a little more.
Unfortunately, practically the whole bag fell into the bowl, and oddly enough, the unicorn smiled.
Perfect.
She grabbed the directions, feeling proud of herself.
Mix with 1 cup of butter, vanilla, brown sugar.
As she read the instructions, she dropped items into the bowl. She didn't think that an entire cup of butter would taste very nice, so she cut it down to about half a cup. The vanilla smelled amazing, so she just emptied half the bottle into the bowl. Anything that smelled that nice had to be really tasty in the long run.
Only 3/4 cups of brown sugar? Well, if it's anything like normal sugar, it's gotta be tasty.
She levitated the bag of brown sugar.
We only have half a bag?
The unicorn sighed, but emptied the brown sugar into the now overflowing bowl.
Next,
She stole a glance at the directions.
2 eggs. Finally, something that makes sense.
She shook her head, taking 2 eggs from the nearby carton and simply dropping them into the mixture of ingredients without even bothering to break them. She poured the entire bag of chocolate chips, muttering something about 2 cups isn't enough.
Now mix.
She grabbed the beaters, glad for something fun to do. She began to mix everything together, switching to her magic when her hooves grew tired of mixing the things together. With her magic, the mixing went on much faster. The ingredients combined in a sloppy mess, sloshing over the counter and splashing onto the wall. Vinyl either didn't notice the mess or didn't care, as she continued to stir the ingredients together.
Perfect.
She beamed. The cookie dough was almost rock solid as she spooned it into the pan. The rocks of dough were littered with eggshells as Vinyl threw the pan into the oven. It didn't look as good as what was on TV, but then again, did anything?
Cook in oven for 30 minutes on 250 degrees.
Wait, 250, what the heck? She scowled, looking at the clock. Octavia would be home in 15.
I'll just do math and stuff and cook it on 500.
I don't know what cookies would cook at 250, but I don't know.
Well, what do you know?
I don't know.
You don't know. That's the problem.
I think she's just right cooking it at 500. You know, it just makes sense. She said with a panicked tone to her voice as she cranked up the dial on the oven. The oven roared as the temperature skyrocketed, and Vinyl paced back and forth. After 10 minutes, she pulled the oven open and levitated her cookies out of the oven. Dropping the pan on the counter, the cookies were black with smoke issuing from the oven.
Issuing.
Issuing?
What the buck?
You say, what the F?
No. I said, what the buck?
The first time, though?
Yeah, no, I said, what the buck?
Okay.
With a B.
She shrieked, grabbing the package from the directions were written on. Her cookies looked the exact opposite as the one in the pictures. She shuffled over to the door, deciding to run to the door and just buy some already made ones.
Run to the store.
However, the second she opened the door, who was standing there?
Octavia! My dear.
Vinyl said with a smile.
What are you... Shouldn't you be here in 5 minutes?
Did you want to do Octavia too?
I mean, I guess I could. If you don't want to, I guess.
I can do Octavia.
I mean, do you want to?
I can.
Well, all right. Let's hear it then.
You still haven't changed the clock. It's 5 minutes slow, silly Billy. Octavia's nose crinkled. What is that horrid smell? Vinyl looked to the ground.
I tried to make cookies to welcome you home.
That's so sweet, Vinyl. Octavia smiled.
It didn't really go the way I'd planned.
Vinyl led the way into the house and indicated the plate of charred cookies. You actually tried cooking? The cellist questioned with knit eyebrows.
That's what I said.
The unicorn said simply with a slight frown.
Apparently, the directions are stupid.
I honestly thought you were just going to say you baked them and you actually bought store ones, Octavia confessed. Vinyl shook her head.
Nope, I made these babies all by myself.
For a moment, Vinyl held her head in pride. The pungent odor of the cookies filled her nose and she sighed.
Or, I tried to anyway. I'm sorry, Octi. I wanted your coming home to be special, like in the movies. I just made a big mess, literally.
She tapped her hoof to the sticky dough that had splashed onto the walls. Did she add any liquid besides eggs? How is it sticky?
Hey, Wizzy, how about you shut up?
I'm just saying I don't think that this is being realistic. Unicorns baking cookies badly? Glancing around the room and letting out a light chuckle, Octavia rolled her eyes, placing a kiss on Vinyl's cheek.
Oh.
They're gay!
Yeah.
My knowing that you just tried to do something that kind for my homecoming made my day. She smiled. It is the thought that counts after all. Vinyl let out a nervous laugh, and the light blush that spread across her cheeks was redder than her eyes, which were covered by her sunglasses that had cookie dough had splattered all across them.
So, how about something sweeter?
She inquired with a smirk, lowering her glasses ever so slightly.
If you know what I mean.
How does anything get sweeter than those cookies? Did you see how much sugar she added to them?
Sex, Wizzy. They're talking about sex.
Well, how much sugar is she putting in the sex?
Alright, yeah, that was the first one. Co-written by the Princess Rarity, by the way. I think we should add that.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah,
I thought it was sweet.
It's cute.
Yeah. It probably had more typos, like, per word ratio than any of the other fics we've done so far, but I still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the fact that I think that Vinyl should be mute in all fictions.
Well, I disagree. And how dare you say that every interpretation should be the way you want it to be?
I'm saying I would prefer it. I like that part of her character, you know, inclusion.
But also that it might not be... This might have not been written at a... It was not written at a time when we knew that Vinyl was probably mute.
Yeah, that's excusable.
This next one, on the other hand, was not.
Oh boy. But she's talking. Oh boy.
Uh-oh, Wizzy's gonna hate it.
All right, for the next one we have Celestia Scratch, written by Wonder.
Celestial Scratch.
What?
Celestial.
Oh. Celestial Scratch, written by Wonder, hosting under false colors. Music is an art, a way of expression that can convey emotions better than words ever could. With music, a pony can reach heights of joy that make the world seem meaningless. To hear the gentle rhythms flow through one's body and to see the music create harmony within every pony was truly a sight to see. No, music isn't an art.
It's a martial art.
The martial art of dancing. It's a religion that encompasses the world. At least, that was how Octavia viewed it. Vinyl, on the other hoof, just liked to blast wubs out of her patented bass cannon, much to Octavia's discomfort.
Hey, Tavy!
Come on, you can't just say Vinyl, on the other hoof, just like to blast wubs out of her patented. I keep saying patented. I don't know where I see the L. Her patented bass cannon.
Maybe you're just an idiot. Or maybe the L is coming in from an alternate dimension.
It's the Mandela effect. I don't like her complaining that she doesn't enjoy music in the right way. That is something that gets on my bad side.
Well, what if she just doesn't like the music, huh?
You don't know real music. Vinyl Scratch. All right. Anyway, the blue-maned DJ called from the kitchen.
Have you seen my screwdriver? Something's up with the dishwasher. The amp isn't working.
What the heck?
Okay, so I should explain this one. Now, you've heard about Epic Web Time, right? I told you about it.
I'm not sure.
It was this fan animation with no hacking.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the jokes was that she replaced the dishwasher with a dishwasher that used wubs. You see,
What?
It's comedy. You see, it's funny.
Yeah.
I might just show you it. Eventually, we're probably gonna read a certain fanfic that uses a lot of it.
Have you tried the toolbox? It's not like it would be anywhere else. The cellist replied in a lightly sarcastic tone.
Oh, right. Of course. My bad.
Octavia couldn't see Vinyl from the living room, but she could tell by her roommate's tone that she was blushing.
Where's the toolbox?
Under the sink, Octavia droned. Octavia heard a loud clatter from the kitchen.
Nope, not there.
We've lived in this house for over a year. Surely by now you should at least know where some things are.
Man, you do a good Discord impression.
Is that what Discord sounds like?
A bit.
Oh, God. I don't like Discord.
You sound a bit younger, but you know.
Probably because I am. Discord's like, what, 4,000?
Yeah. Yeah, around there. I mean, truthfully, we don't actually know how old Discord is.
What? No one celebrates his birthday?
I don't think we should count the stone years as him living.
Yeah, that really isn't living. And then should we count the years that Luna was trapped on the moon as her aging?
Well, the moon was different. You see, the moon, she was probably maybe sentient. I don't know. Might have been just the big long sleep for her. I don't know. It says she was trapped in the moon, but I still like to think that she was sentient and she had time to think.
She was the moon, and she crashed into the earth in Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Octavia sighed loudly before walking to the kitchen. Her normally clean kitchen was now strewn with random utensils and tools that Vinyl had needlessly tossed on the floor. I swear, I am the only mare that can put up with your antics. You're lucky I love you, Vinyl. Octavia didn't speak as she nudged the alabaster mare out of the way. She rustled through the various items under the sink and pulled out a dull red toolbox.
I swear, that wasn't there a second ago. How do you do that?
Vinyl asked, incredulously.
For an Earth mare, you have some crazy magic skills.
It's not magic. It's just observation.
Well, whatever that means, you're good at it.
Vinyl opened the toolbox and pulled out the first screwdriver she saw. The unicorn was about to wreak havoc on the dishwasher when she heard a familiar song come from the table, accompanied by a soft, vibrating hum.
Why can't anyone call me when I'm not busy?
Vinyl moaned. You're never busy. You're always at home, Octavia called from the front door.
I can be busy at home.
Vinyl said defensively, before answering the phone.
I don't like how they have phones, but whatever. Yeah, this is Vinyl speaking. Who dis?
New phone, who dis? Do they, not have phones in any of the things?
Not really.
What the heck was that?
They might have, old phones, but not... What?
I heard a noise.
Demons, man.
It sounded like it came from your side, but it sounded really weird. I don't know.
Spooky.
I don't think it was a notification. Anyway, could this be a fan fiction from Equestria Girls?
Let's find out. No. You never check your caller ID, do you?
The voice on the other end responded.
It's me, doofus. Where are you? I've been waiting here for ages. Oh, shoot. Sorry, Skyline. I completely forgot. Could you hold on for just a moment longer? I'll be right there. You're kidding, right? Do I need to staple notes on her horn for you to remember things? Ugh, fine, I'll wait. But you owe me. I don't know if that's the same voice I used, but who cares?
It's not the same. Wait, for the first time you spoke?
Yeah. With Skyline.
I don't think it was.
Probably not. This is the second time in a row you've been late. Thanks, bud. I'll make it up to you somehow. Promise. You beat...
Vinyl hung up on him.
Hey, Octi, could you finish this for me? I got a gig to go to.
That voice is so weird. Vinyl gave the earth pony a kiss on the cheek before she could reply and bolted out the door.
Thanks, love ya. Bye.
I have yet to see one fic where Octavia and Vinyl are in it and not together.
They're rare, man.
The musician glanced around the mess her roommate had made. Vinyl, I am not cleaning this up, Octavia yelled after the unicorn.
You better make it up to me. Yo, Vinyl, you there?
That's still not the same voice.
Nope. No, it's not.
Skyline checked his phone and saw that the call had been disconnected.
I can't believe it. She hung up on me.
Why do nice guys always finish last?
I was assuming this was going to be you.
I thought this was going to be Vinyl.
No.
Dude, relax. She does that to everyone. That mare is always in a rush. Horizon called over to his brother. Oh, this is another guy. I was going to do a Valley Girl accent.
You could still do one.
Yeah, I probably will. Skyline was a unicorn with sky blue fur and... Wait, is this not an actual character? This is an OC? Okay. It's a good name. Good name. Skyline was a unicorn with sky blue fur and had smooth sapphire-colored mane. His eyes were a rich shade of green. Skyline was thinner than most stallions, but made up for it in size. Skyline was always active and rarely took time to relax. Horizon was very different from his brother.
Skyline. That's all I can talk about.
Horizon was very different from his brother, both physically and mentally. His fur was canary yellow, and he had ragged, fiery hair. His body was quite large and built for hard work. Horizon, unlike his brother, was always relaxed and rarely worked, which every pony found ironic. But whenever he did, nothing could stop him from achieving his goal. Their friends had gotten together one night and invented a nickname for the two, which had quickly spread. Ever since then, they had been struck with the nickname the Parallels. Oh, this feels like such a fan fiction.
Your face is a fan fiction in your face. Ha, gotcha.
That is fair. Together, both brothers owned a local nightclub which had become quite successful since opening. Out of the two, Horizon was oldest and often spent his days lounging around and planning for future events, as well as ways to expand and improve their nightclub. Skyline, on the other hand, spent his time managing the club. The Night Rise opened only months ago, but had quickly become one of the most popular nighttime businesses in Canterlot. There were 3 reasons for the club's success. The first was the level of service they provide to both customers and staff. The second reason was the quality of the venue. The brothers ensured everything was perfect, from the aesthetics and decor down to the presentation of the beverages. The final and most important reason was that Princess Luna and her personal guard often attended the nightclub. Nothing brings in more customers than celebrities. And the fourth and most powerful reason was Vinyl Scratch played there.
Naturally.
Skyline dropped the phone onto his bed and fell onto his back.
I swear, one day that mare is gonna kill me. I'm not sure if it'll be a metaphorical or physical death, though. Maybe both.
Is that supposed to be like Jason Thunderburger?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I love it. You need to relax, bro. Horizon leaned into the red beanbag he had bought last week and closed his eyes. Everything will work out in the end.
I know. You keep telling me. I just want everything to be perfect.
Skyline closed his eyes and rested his left forehoof across his eyes, blocking out all light. Nothing is perfect. Well, except me, of course. Hair flip. Horizon posed for an imaginary camera.
Perfect, my flank. Everyone knows I'm the pretty one.
Skyline tapped his chest pridefully. The pretty dumb one. Hair flip. Horizon teased.
Well, that's not very nice. Don't be mean to your older brother, otherwise I'll have to ignore you.
Skyline put on the girliest voice he could manage. Notice me, senpai! Don't ignore me! Skyline and Horizon both burst into laughter.
You're an idiot, bro.
Yeah, I know. Vinyl tore down the road, ignoring all the disgruntled ponies she bumped onto, and every curse shouted her way when she caused some pony to drop something. The wind blew past her at ridiculous speeds, causing her mane to whip behind her erratically.
Oh my.
Vinyl passed by the Canterlot clock shop and saw the same time in every clock face. It was just coming up to midday, and she was still only halfway there.
Halfway there. Halfway there. Halfway there.
Vinyl quickly changed direction and made a sharp left, deciding to take a shortcut through the Canterlot Gardens. It would only save her a few minutes, but it was better than nothing. Vinyl raced into the park and ran straight, ignoring all the plants in her path. At one point, she jumped through a bush, leaving a comical pony-shaped hole in the foliage. I can totally picture it. Vinyl didn't even notice that her mane had twigs and leaves sticking out of it, or the fact that a small family of squirrels had made her mane their new home. Her mind was purely focused on getting to her destination on time. One benefit of owning a 2-story nightclub is that you do whatever you want with it, which Horizon Skyline had taken full advantage of. The second story of Night Rise had been converted into a flat which the two brothers now lived in. The first floor was large and open as you would expect a nightclub to be. The entrance to the nightclub faces the DJ's podium, which towered above the dance floor like a god. On the left of the door was the bar, and on the right side a set of stairs leading to the second floor. The rest of the wall space was taken up by tables and chairs which were normally filled with ponies. It was a fairly simple setup, but that's what ponies liked, apparently. Skyline and his brother were both behind the bar, making sure they had enough stock to last the night, when the door to the club burst open. Neither of them looked up as Vinyl fell flat on her face.
Made it! 15 minutes late.
Skyline said lazily.
No welcome drink. Oh, come on. It was only, really? 15 minutes?
Skyline pulled her face off the ground.
But I took 7 shortcuts. Well, maybe you should.
Skyline looked up and instantly forgot what he was saying.
Vinyl, what happened to your mane? My mane?
Scratch tilted her eyes up, but could not see her hair. Normally she could see the tips of her hair, but today she couldn't even see a single hair.
Wind must have bled it back. I'll just fix it in the bathroom.
You're gonna need more than a bathroom trip to fix that, Horizon laughed. Yo, Scratch, you need a mirror ASAP.
What's wrong with it?
Vinyl trotted to the bathroom and allowed the door to slowly shut behind her. Skyline and Horizon didn't have to wait long before a very un-Vinyl-like scream filled the room. Less than a second later, the DJ burst back out of the bathroom. Huh, I didn't know you could sing soprano, Vinyl, Horizon chuckled darkly.
I mean, if you want to call it that.
I think that was more of I don't know I don't know any other words than soprano.
There's soprano, there's allegro, there's Francis, there's Jean, there's Billy, there's Jason, there's Tommy, there's Trini, there's Kimberly, there's Zach. Those are the Power Rangers. Anyways, I didn't know your face was made of steel.
Vinyl glared at Horizon. Huh? What do you mean? Horizon fell onto his rear when something connected with his face.
Vinyl, please don't throw produce at my brother. That bottle cost more than you're getting paid tonight.
Skyline picked up the bottle the mayor had thrown and placed it back onto the counter.
And you?
He turned to his brother.
Stop picking on our staff or I'll let her drop an anvil on your head.
Horizon rubbed his forehead and got onto his hooves. He mumbled an apology to Vinyl and left to organize the fridges behind the bar. When Skyline hadn't been watching, Vinyl had retreated to one of the club's many booths and was rocking back and forth whilst mumbling to herself. Yes, me?
I don't know.
Huh. What are you doing, Scratch? You need to get the equipment ready for tonight.
How am I meant to work? Would I look like this?
Vinyl yelled at him.
If I perform like this, I'll lose all of my credibility as a DJ. I'm not a critic or anything, so I'll let you sort it out.
Skyline started polishing glasses with a cloth.
Oh, you know what? I guess that one right there was supposed to be me. But oh well, now it's Horizon.
Yeah, probably.
Now, canonically, we have made it Horizon.
It's established.
Are you stupid? A disc jockey must always look cool. If I go up there looking like a homeless mayor, my career will be over. Wear a helmet, like that duo from Manhattan. What was their name again? You're kidding, right? I can't just copy Daft Colt. I'll be ridiculed.
Daft Colt. Vinyl tried to pull some of the wing twigs out of her hair, but they were too tangled and she had to give up when it started hurting.
Stupid mane, obey my will. If you hate your mane so much, then change it. Get it cut somewhere. That's it. I'll change my mane.
Vinyl ran right to Skyline and stuck her face right next to his.
Give me your mane for tonight. I said change, not exchange. Just go to a salon or something. You still have a while until you need to start. Just make sure you have all the equipment ready on time. No time. I'm taking yours.
Vinyl lit her horn and aimed her magic at Skyline.
Hey, wait a minute. What are you doing?
The room filled with a bright light and the two were momentarily blinded. Vinyl's vision returned first, mainly because she was used to bright lights of the dance floor while Skyline worked behind the bar. Or maybe it's because she had sunglasses on. Vinyl looked at her boss's mane and frowned.
Oh, it didn't work. Like hell it didn't. I can see shite.
Skyline opened his eyes and froze mid-sentence.
Oh my, that's new.
He continued to stare at her, not blinking once.
Oh no, I made it worse, didn't I?
Vinyl shrunk back.
Far from it.
Skyline let out a small giggle.
Your Highness. Highness? Whatever could you mean?
Celestia stretched out her hooves and let out a relaxing sigh. Today's court had been particularly frustrating, and she was equally tired. Sadly, she couldn't rest until she had set the sun, and sundown wasn't due for another 7 hours. Maybe she could get Luna to take over? Is that a thing that happened in the show? Like, Luna took over for Celestia for a bit?
Well, I know for a fact that Celestia did for Luna. And also they switched places one episode.
Freaky Friday in Canterlot. All right, where was I? Celestia smiled to herself. Luna had been back for a while. Perhaps it was time to put more trust in her. Celestia opened the doors to her room and began the short walk to her sister's tower. Celestia passed by a group of guards who, as usual, gave her a short, respectful bow before continuing on their patrol. Celestia simply nodded back to them. After hundreds of years, it had simply become a reflex to her. Sometimes she wished things would be different. Celestia could see another group of guards up ahead, coming towards her. No doubt they would bow just like all the others had. Celestia sighed and kept walking.
Perhaps I should take a short holiday. I deserve a small break from work. You know what? I'm going to take a holiday. Luna is old enough to take care of things until I get back.
And then she went and got mugged in an alley.
Oops.
For a moment, Celestia could have sworn the area around her grew brighter for a moment. Obviously, she had made the right choice if things were literally looking brighter. Or maybe her freaking cataracts were finally clearing up. Celestia glanced towards the guards and smiled. Celestia had been expecting them to bow like usual, but for once that was not what happened. The guards approaching her stopped as if they stumbled into an invisible wall. The one at the front fell over as the rear guards bumped into him. Was the sight of her smiling really that uncommon? Celestia thought she smiled all the time. The princess was about to offer the fallen stallion some assistance, but stopped when she saw their expressions on the faces of the standing guards. It was as if they didn't know whether to laugh or to be concerned. It was truly perplexing. What bothered her most was they were looking at her. The lead guard stepped forward. Your Highness, I apologize for any offense that I may incur, but are you okay? Celestia was taken back his question. Okay.
Put your question back where you found it. What are you talking about?
Was her smiling so uncommon that it was taken as a sign of illness? The guard froze. He had to choose his words very carefully. You appear to be... He looked behind him for assistance, but all his brothers in arms had retreated to a safe distance. Out of sorts? Celestia was slightly annoyed by his remark, but let it slide. It was her fault for not showing emotion often enough.
I assure you, I am fine.
Then this was just a fashion statement? That is good to know. I had assumed you had gone Celestia interrupted him before she could finish.
Fashion statement? Whatever do you mean?
The guard froze. Oh crap, she's gone mad. The guard looked behind him for additional support, but yet again his comrades had moved further away from him. Your hair! He shrunk back from the goddess.
My hair?
Celestia looked at the guard in confusion before summoning a mirror from her bedside table. She raised it in front of her and inspected the image staring back at her. For a moment, Celestia didn't know how to respond, but when a family of squirrels jumped out of her hair, she knew exactly how to react. Is she going to blame Luna? Luna dropped the book she had been reading when she heard the scream. It was a mixture of pure shock and unadulterated rage. Last time she had heard that scream, an entire army was wiped off the battlefield. She didn't care whose fault it was, but she was staying out of this one. Oh my god, you think your sister's in deadly trouble, and you're just like, nope, I'm staying out of it.
Only makes sense.
Me when my mom starts yelling at me. The night rise was in full swing and was busier than ever. Apparently, news spreads fast, and after every pony heard there was a new DJ at the club, every pony swarmed the place. No one had ever heard of this celestial scratch before, but that didn't matter. How did they not realize? As long as she could make great music and look good while doing it. What caught every pony's eye was her mane, though. Her bright and shining mane had every pony's full attention. Her multicolored, shining mane gave off an aura of power and somehow gave her music a regal sound. if that was even possible. Hey bro, who's the new girl? Horizon poured a drink for another customer. Skyline made sure that there was no customers at the bar before whispering into his brother's ear.
Actually, that's Vinyl. She just swapped hair with some pony through some spell. She tried to take mine, but failed.
Well, I don't care whose hair it is, as long as she's bringing in this many customers. The song had just begun its climax when the beat dropped. All hell broke loose. The door to the club exploded inwards, showering the crowd with splinters and broken chunks of door. Every pony dropped to the floor. The beat stopped. Everything stopped. When the dust settled, every pony looked to the door and saw a seething white alicorn. Gone was her colorful waving mane. Now adorning her head was a blue, twig-infested forest of hair that looked like it had been attacked by a vicious horde of timberwolves. Celestia scanned the room with her teeth bared. If looks could killed, then it would have been a massacre. It took her no time at all to see the alabaster DJ standing atop the podium with her mane.
Gotcha!
She growled.
And that was the end.
I'm guessing this was meant to be continued at some point.
Maybe, but it could have just been a joke.
I don't know.
Just, that's it.
I'll be brutally honest. This one wasn't one of the best.
I thought it was okay.
I mainly liked the voices we gave the characters. I think that was my favorite part.
I see.
And of course,
I see.
Vinyl Scratch, but...
Well, naturally. Vinyl Scratch is amazing. Personally, I rather liked it. Maybe that's just because I want to avoid being rude, but I thought it was fine.
I did enjoy it, but not as much as the other fix.
I see. Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it about a 6. That's not bad.
I'd say 4 or 5.
Ooh, that one's bad.
It's in between bad and good, but...
Well, 5 is, but 4 is bad.
I mean, who am I to judge any writing, though, as I do not like reading.
You don't like reading.
Hey, maybe all these fan fictions will make a reader out of me.
Maybe. I mean, you seem to already be doing it great so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are your opinions on Vinyl Scratch now?
I want to say unchanged, because these fictions I don't think did the character that I see her as justice.
I see.
The first one that we had read, which we didn't actually even do in the podcast with Vinyl Scratch, I really liked her character in that one.
Well, maybe we should do that one as like the 100th episode special.
A rereading.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Music to My Ears short one that I had seen with... That's pretty much all I've actually seen of the actual show with Vinyl Scratch. I liked how that conveyed her character.
Actual show, quote unquote, even though it was short of Equestria Girls.
I have of Equestria Girls, whatever. I think that's all I have to say about it, though.
All right, brilliant. Well, thank you all for tuning in. This was probably the shortest episode. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's either this one or Forever Young. That's the shortest. I do not know yet. Have not finished cutting up Forever Young currently. That's how far in the past this was recorded, by the way, just to let you know. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next week, hopefully.
Bye!
Bye!